happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update. You guys could probably already tell it is going down. Just by that title alone, guys, definitely gonna want to see this one. As we got that ABC's The View host, Sunny Hostin, back at it again, guys. She's essentially begging for a lawsuit from Donald Trump as her and the producer go head to head in this newest update, guys. I'm excited to get into it, so I'm straight into it. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Before we even get into it, you guys, hit that like button, also hit that subscribe button for your boy. And without further ado, let's jump straight into it, folks. Check this one out.
So these are basically for people that could be targeted in the future by the incoming Trump administration. We've heard stories of enemies lists and those such things. Do you think you should?
I do.
Yeah.
I mean, I just, I think in, what was it, 2016, we didn't know what we were facing. We just, this guy comes down a golden escalator and he's like, I'm going to be the president. I don't think we thought he would be the president. And we had no idea that he would, try to steal the election. But now we know.
What?
And he says the
There you go. That's Sunny Hostin off on the wrong foot already. Donald Trump coming in, he did anything but steal I mean, come on, you guys. That right there is just showing you how far out in this false reality she truly lives. I mean, you guys hearing her right now?
Try to steal the election. But now we know. And he says the quiet parts out loud. He's one of those people. And when Maya Angelou said, people show you who they are the first time, believe them. So he showed me, at least, who he was the first time. He ran this campaign on threats of retribution, revenge, concepts of a plan. I believe that. And I think people...
Concepts of a plan. That's exactly why she's showing she hasn't learned her lesson. And a lot of folks on the left have not learned their lesson. They keep trying to push these points. Donald Trump ran on a concept of a plan when he's clearly showing before he even steps into that White House. He's getting things done. His plan is already in motion. The wheels of on the bus are going round and round. Yet these folks are still stuck on this candidate. On the other side, Kamala Harris, who had absolutely no plan. She was a copycat warrior, the way she stole policies and her agenda from either Biden or what Donald Trump was doing. These folks are just lost. They're just lost. They can't get over the fact that Donald Trump, he keeps winning.
Revenge, concepts of a plan. I believe that. And I think people that were really stand up straight shooters like an Adam Kinzinger, like a General Milley, like an Alyssa Farah Griffin, like Cassidy Hutchinson, Liz Cheney, who were out there, telling people what they saw, what they witnessed.
And that right there alone, the folks that she just listed should tell you, she's saying those folks are the straight shooters in her book. That shows you where her morale is. Her moral compass is just non-existent, guys. All these folks that she's listing are tied up in legal affairs there, especially that Cassidy Hutchinson, Liz Cheney, and honorable mention Alyssa Farah Griffin, because she was the middleman of it all. I mean, these are the straight shooters in your book? That says a lot, Sunny.
Who were out there, telling people what they saw, what they witnessed. There's another, Vindman. I would not be surprised if Steve Bannon or Manafort or any of the other people that are probably architects and J.D. Vance and the architects of 2025, they probably do have that list. And I don't think there's anything wrong with pardoning someone who spoke truth to power and who now may be on the other side of retribution.
Is there an implication of guilt, though, for people that
no.
ostensibly didn't do anything wrong?
No, absolutely.
Yeah, if you didn't do anything wrong, like he's saying, Brian Ted is saying it correctly. If you done nothing wrong, there is no reason why you would need a pardon. We just seen the same thing coming for this guy, Hunter Biden. Sunny Hostin is trying to argue the point and say that there's only one reason why these folks are going to need that part is because, they could be facing potential retribution. Guys, that is not the case whatsoever. They're trying to, throw rocks and now hide their hands and say that they're the victim if Donald Trump decides to come after them. I mean, that's not going to work. All these rogue agents, bad actors that, came after Donald Trump, weaponized the DOJ in order to get between him and that White House. I don't know. I think there needs to be some type of accountability there.
Is there an implication of guilt, though, for people that
No.
ostensibly didn't do anything wrong.
No, absolutely not. I think, if you look at it historically, there is that notion, okay, well, there was someone that was, convicted of a federal crime and that crime has been decriminalized. And so should that person spend the rest of their lives in prison? That's sort of a corrective action because the law has changed. This is different. We are not dealing with a normal presidential pardon process. We're not dealing, in my view, again, a normal presidential candidate or a presidential-elect. This is different.
Yeah.
And you must treat it differently.
I'm trying to really figure out where, it's showing. She lives in the false reality because what's different? I'm sitting there looking at our candidate, our president-elect, not even our candidate, our president-elect, Donald Trump now, and I'm saying, what's so different? What's so abnormal about this guy? He seems like a stand-up America First patriot, here to serve our nation like he did in 2016. Don't see why the thing that's not normal is the fact that we've had a sitting president for the last 4 years now almost, that has been on vacation for the last 40%? 40% of his presidency was spent on vacation. The other 60% I heard was allocated in naps and snack time. So, I mean, come on, you guys. And 100% of his presidency was, served out by someone else. That's what's abnormal. Not Donald Trump, the guy who was here to save the day. These folks, man, I can't get over that.
Elect. This is different.
Yeah.
And you must treat it differently.
No, it's not.
It'll be interesting because we had Senator Fetterman on today, and he was basically saying he's not going to freak out. He's going to wait and see. And Whoopi said that
Freaking out and planning are two different things.
Right.
I'm a very pragmatic person, as you know.
Yeah.
As an attorney, you kind of do that. And so I don't like leaving things to the wind, throwing things to the wind. I mean, I'm not freaking out. I'm in plan mode.
Yeah.
And part of planning is making sure that those people that had the fortitude and the courage and the bravery to try to save our democracy get protected.
Another thing Senator Fetterman said today that was a little newsy, I think. He suggested that after Hunter Biden's pardon that perhaps President-elect Trump should be pardoned for the New York hush money conviction.
Yeah.
What was your take on that? I imagine you disagree there.
I do disagree. And, I think when people come on our show, you show.
How are you going to disagree on that? That's what she's saying that it was partisan, the way they came after Hunter Biden. It was politically motivated. And I guess you could say the same. You could definitely say the same for Donald Trump. So let's say they're in the same boat. If we're going to go back and give Hunter the 11-year blanketed pardon, why would you not say the same could be applied to Donald Trump? It just doesn't make sense. This is someone who claims to be a straight shooter.
Disagree. And, I think when people come on our show, you show them grace and Barbara Walters showed me that. It's like inviting somebody into your home. And so you treat them accordingly. And it wasn't my question. So I didn't get a chance to push back. But listen, I think had President-elect Trump not tried to hide a hush money payment to a porn star that he had an affair with while his wife was pregnant, and had he not cooked the books with his accountant, who, by the way, refused to plead the fifth and refused.
Had we not have this crooked district attorney, Alvin Bragg, coming and scraping and drumming up a Frankenstein case dead in the water in order to come after Donald Trump, we never have to deal with any of this. I mean, come on, you guys. Look at his star and key witnesses. The flimsiest case. No one else will bring it. That says it all.
Books with his
cooking the
accountant,
books,
who, by the way, refused to plead the fifth and refused to testify against him, and spent time in prison at Rikers Island twice. And a jury of his peers, 12 people, found him. I was in the courtroom, found him guilty of 34 counts. I don't think that you say, oh, my goodness, all of that didn't matter. That was politically motivated.
Right. I mean, he denies having an affair.
I don't know if these folks hear themselves talk. I mean, come on. That was the baseline of this all. It was solely politically motivated. It was so apparent to see. I mean, honestly, if I'm being just truthful with all you guys, this is what piqued my interest, got me diving down that rabbit hole, hopping onto politics. Because if you guys know me, going back to the beginning of my channel, we were doing music, entertainment, comedy reactions. And then I started seeing more and more pop up on, my timelines, X feed, YouTube feed. And I'm seeing, a long string of charges, different cases being brought about by, now we know, the rogue agents. This was Jack Smith, Fonnie Willis, Letitia James. So many folks coming after Trump. I'm like, what's going on with this guy? He's never really been on my radar up until then. And just like my interest was piqued, I feel like a lot of folks across the nation seen the same thing. And once you get to the bottom of it, you can see clearly this was all political. So for them to go and say that you can't write this all off as political is insane. It just shows you the Trump derangement syndrome.
Goodness, all of that didn't matter. That was politically motivated.
Right. I mean, he denies having an affair and he denies any wrongdoing, but at the same time,
Yes.
it was.
But it was a full and fair process. And so
You don't believe it's political in any way?
No, I don't think it was politically motivated. And I was really disappointed to hear that and for it to go sort of unchecked on our air, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
So I'm checking it now, folks.
There you go. That's the beauty of the podcast. All right. So people have been saying, and Charlemagne said this yesterday, I think, if you're a diehard Democrat or a diehard Republican, you sometimes refuse to be objective about the other party. I don't believe that's the case with you because especially I think there's many times where you've had issues with things that the president's done or other people have done. And
I've been open about it.
That is a flat out lie. I told you, she loves to say that she is a straight shooter. She's going to call it down the middle, no matter which side you're playing for. We know that Sonny hosts, and she just can't. She is so, partisan to her party. The Democratic Party, she is so, like, just anything that happens. You see with Hunter Biden, the way they placate. They cover up. They say that, oh, he's just a child. That's a dad loving his child. I mean, come on, you guys. You cannot make this kind of stuff up. For her to go and say this is insane.
I don't believe that's the case with you because especially I think there's many times where you've had issues with things that the president's done or other people have done. And
I've been open about it.
Do you think that's the case in general, that diehards have trouble looking in the mirror on their own party sometimes?
I think there are some people that certainly have trouble just being introspective.
Guys, you heard the pause, the stutter, the look around the room. I mean, it's the telltale sign. She knows. She's looking in the mirror right now. She's like, actually, I think I'm talking and describing myself. Those folks who just cannot see past their party lines. This is definitely Sonny host, and she's trapped in that echo chamber.
Have trouble just being introspective and looking at the party that they belong to.
Is part of that the look at the other side? I mean, how can you
compare the two? You know, I'm just not like that. I think a lot of it has to do with my legal training. I mean, I remember telling people are always shocked that Mark Garagos is a friend of mine. I mean, Mark and I would argue to the ground in a courtroom or in a television studio, and then we go out for drinks. He's one of the coolest people that I know. I call him on his birthday every year. I spoke to him last week. I couldn't disagree with him more on certain things, but I can look at that and I can respect him for other things.
Right.
And I feel the same way about political parties. I will say there are not many Republican policies that I agree with. And that is because I am sort of a very faithful person. I'm very faith-based. So
Here she goes with this policies thing, guys. Not many Republican policies that she could agree with. Donald Trump had the most common sense campaign. The things he wanted to come in there and do would solely help our nation, you know, cleaning up all the crime, you know, by sealing the southern border, we'd clean up so much crime that we've seen an influx over the last 4 years within our nation, you know, bringing down the cost of buying a house for a lot of these first time homeowners. You know, interest rates through the roof. We're seeing not only gas prices through the roof, the grocery bill is skyrocketing. These are all things that could have helped her. But then on the other side, we had Kamala Harris. Miss Word Salad was the only thing that she was offering up. You didn't really get any policies or a true agenda. Anything you did get, I feel like it was hijacked from someone else. If it wasn't Donald Trump, it was Joe Biden, who she was so badly trying to distance herself away from. It just doesn't make sense.
Because I am sort of a very faithful person. I'm very faith-based. So I am my brothers and sisters' keeper type of voter. Mm-hmm. And so even though something may be beneficial to me, like a really nice tax break, if I know those in my community or those in society will be harmed by those same policies, I would vote against that. Now, that's not to say that I don't have Republican friends. I do. You know, Liz Cheney is someone who I said voted, with Trump like 92% of the time. I don't believe in her policies. Adam Kinzinger, I believe, voted with Trump like between 97 and 99% of the time. I don't believe in those policies. I think that they harm people. But do I like Adam and do I like Liz? Yeah, I do. I like them personally.
Sure.
And
you like Alyssa? You like Anna?
I like
you
Alyssa. I like Anna.
Abby Huntsman, who was here the other day.
Yeah. And I've kept in contact with Abby Huntsman. So I can separate the policy from the party and the policy.
She can do what? Separate the policy. That right there shows she doesn't even know what she's talking about. She just gets up there, runs her mouth. This is a lot of the ladies on the set. ABCs, they show you right there. I don't even know if they hear themselves talk. The things they say in order to try to throw jabs at or, come down on Donald Trump, those associated with him. It just doesn't make sense. Trying to go as far as to prove a case or a string of cases that came after Donald Trump in order to, stop him from getting that White House wasn't political when all these efforts came from the other side. It just doesn't make sense. And that's why they lost the election the way they did. And until they wake up, realize, and are able to, it seems like Sonny and a lot of these folks on the left are afraid almost to look in that mirror. And until they do, they're going to continue to lose exactly the way they have been, guys. But definitely out in the comment section, let me know your thoughts. Also, make sure you guys hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. If you did enjoy more content like this, catch you guys on the next one.